aimless in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Hey, what is going on, and welcome to the One Pride Podcast. We talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, and we're going to have a good one for you tonight. We got a special guest on with me. He is another YouTuber. He's a friend of mine. It is Avery Giovanni, Spirit of Detroit. What's going on, AG?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
What do you got to say to the folks, man?
I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be here. A different look for me, being on camera, you know. But I love that. I love collaborating, love working with y'all. So,
Hey, no doubt, man. Let's get at it, folks. We got a lot of people in the building. What is up to Chrome, Frank, Gemini Fox, Alan Dana, John Robinson, Todd Tesmer, Walter Scott, Nine Drinks, Bruce Butterfly, King SJ, Nick Gunja. Thank you for the intro, man. Rod Detroit, what's up? Make sure you subscribe to his channel, Flight 000, Mr. Poole. What is up, everybody? And we're going to be talking some Detroit Lions. We're going to get into it. A lot of stuff going on. Obviously, we got the Super Bowl coming up. AG, there's a player in the Super Bowl.
oh man,
That is a former Detroit Lion. Do you think, after looking at this trade and him being in the Super Bowl, was this trade Stafford to the Los Angeles Rams the right move to do?
yeah, I think so. I still believe so. We just have to we have to do our due diligence in the draft. You know, that's the biggest important thing for me. Like, we have to do our due diligence and make that pick, whoever that is, and the next year's pick. Hopefully they'll be great players, and just to prove it right. For golf, getting golf, that's kind of well, you know what that is. So we're just going to deal with it, and we're going to, both teams are in different phases as well. So I'm just glad to get rid of him, get him for something. Obviously, they thought he was 2 first-round picks, a quarterback, and a third-round pick of last year. So I'm just happy to keep moving.
You know, this question was asked, and he was not asked to Pride at Detroit, and that's where I got it from, so credit to them there. Was this the right move for the Detroit Lions? Yes, it was the right move. I would ask everybody in the comment section, do you think that the Detroit Lions would be in the Super Bowl if we had Matthew Stafford this year? I would say no. I do not believe that would be the case. We would not be in the Super Bowl. We were in rebuild mode, 2 different teams, 2 different trajectories. One has a super team, one has a rebuild squad. We need the capital to fix this team that Quinn Trisha destroyed, and Matt Stafford gets to go to a team where he simply gets to win and play. So I think, to me, the trade was justified. What's up, Jamie List, my little homie back in the day? We used to kick it. I think it was completely justified. Let me know in the comment section, do you like the trade still after seeing Matthew Stafford, former quarterback, in the Super Bowl? In the comment section, Avery, do you think that a lot of people are going to say yes, this is justified? Do you think they're going to say no? What do you think right now that's going to happen in the comment section? Just give a guess. What do you think?
Well, if you look at your comment section, okay, in the next 10 minutes they're gonna say, I wish we had a Super Bowl winning quarterback like Matthew Stafford so we can get over the hump and go to the Super Bowl. I think I'm expecting the worst or craziest comments ever. He's a great quarterback. Obviously, he's gotten his team. He hasn't folded under pressure like years past. And if he does win a Super Bowl, which I'm assuming he does, I think we're all assuming he has an advantage with the super team. Then we'll hear it for weeks and weeks that he's the Detroit Rams and all this other nonsense. We're gonna hear all that. But I want y'all to understand this team, okay? Even Trent Dilfer got a Super Bowl. Even Joe Flacco got a Super Bowl. So as long as, barring any mess ups, Stafford in there.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. He's in the Super Bowl. We see John Robinson says yes, 9 guys, Lions, because we could still trade Goff next year. It was time for both parties to move on, Tony Bloom. So a lot of people are not upset that we got rid of Matthew Stafford, and I am with that myself. Again, we would not be in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. We were a completely different football team from what they have going on over there in the Rams and compared to here. Avery Giovanni, are you rooting for Stafford to win the Super Bowl on Sunday?
It makes me feel good that he's in there. It makes me feel kind of good. It's really hard not to. It's hard not to. You just want a guy like that to win, and just like Cliff Averill did, just like Ndamukong Suh did, just want a guy like that to win. He's not acting braggy. He's shutting down the media. I'm watching a couple of his media clips, and he's being real conservative with them, not talking no stuff about Detroit or anything. So I do appreciate that. Yeah, I do kind of want him to win. I don't want him to win as bad as some other people. Other people they'll fly through a wall and stuff. They're the Detroit Rams, so.
We got the Detroit Rams fan base, man. I feel like a split 50-50. Let me know in the comment section. Are you rooting for Stafford to win? Why for yes? If you're not rooting for him and for no, let's do a quick poll right now from the folks in the comment section. Blow it up. Spam it with Y's and N's. I want to know. This is the last time I'm going to be live before the Super Bowl because I'm not going live for it. So I want to see what you guys think. And if you're watching this after the fact, spam the comment section of the stream if Y's and N's, you going to be rooting for this team. The Rams, the Detroit Rams, they say, to win the Super Bowl. We got Frank. He says, no, he is not rooting for Matthew Stafford to win the Super Bowl. Another person says why he is. Gimme Detroit says no, absolutely not, Lisa. Bruce says why. So right now it's 50-50. Just off the quick individuals in there, we got why for Gemini Fox. This point might as well win the whole thing. There we go. We will do the comment section in about 20 minutes. Why for Kick Kazar. Bengals Chrome wants the Bengals to win this bad boy. Personally, I'm rooting for the Bengals, and it's not a thing on Matthew Stafford. I think the Bengals, wouldn't it be really cool to see a Bengals win, right? Like, this team has been sucking for so long. It's like the Detroit Lions, right? When you've been terrible for so long and you see them get into this bad boy, that's a fantastic thing. It's like the Cubs when they won the World Series. So I wouldn't mind them winning. I think it'd be nice to see that for sure. Let's get into the next topic that we got going on, and that is Aubrey Pleasant. We have a pleasant surprise today. It was really good that happened here, and that is Aubrey Pleasant is returning to the Lions because he did not get the job. As of right now, he could get another job. What's up, Eric?
Yeah.
What are your feelings on Pleasant staying in Detroit as of right now?
I think it's really high. I see that the Saints might be interested in him as a defensive coordinator. I'm going to be paying attention to that, close attention to that. I'm really happy that he's not in the division, that he's not a defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. He wasn't the favorite to get the job, but when he was requested, I was scared because he does have ability. He can train people up. He can coach people. I think he's the right man for the job. He can take a good safety to a great safety, make a great safety, legendary. So I'm
Are you
glad to
guys
have him.
happy that Aubrey Pleasant, as of right now, is returning? Again, things could change, something could happen, but as of right now, I'm extremely happy. I love what what really showed me out is the Jeffrey Okuda spat on the sideline where he just got after him. I love it. I love the concept of coaches getting in the face. If you're not going up to the standard you should be playing, you're getting paid millions of dollars. Coach, get in your face, right? I mean, we're used to this. Avery, if you don't know, Avery is a service member. I'm a veteran. We're used to people in our face, right? Like this is just life, right, man?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, all the time.
And so that's the type of approach we like. We see in here, Tim Monroe says, yes, he's happy. Mr. Poole, I am. Tony, yes. Breeze, yes. Hell yeah. Frank, Gemini Fox, yes. I am pleasant with the Lions. Good one there, Lisa. I freaking love it. Now, there's a possibility maybe he goes to the New Orleans Saints. Okay, he could get a job there, and that's very possible. We still got to wait, but, I'm happy he's here because to me, I don't know about you, if we would have lost Aaron Glenn or if we lose Aaron Glenn next year to a head coaching job, our backup plan, right, would be Aubrey Pleasant as defensive coordinator. What would you think about that, him being the DB?
I honestly, do I sound terrible if I say I just love the draft picks?
No, go ahead. Speak your mind, man. We all have different opinions, bro.
Okay. So if Aaron Glenn, does get a head coaching job, I would love those 2 compensatory picks. And also him being the DC, that would be great because he's going to take over a defense that already has some kind of familiarity with him. If it gets to that point where it's 2 years with him and now he's the DC. So it'd be interesting to see if he's more aggressive or less aggressive, if he likes more zone or what. It'd be so interesting. And then, he'll be called for coaching jobs in 1 to 2 years in that same span. So very good positive vibes going on in Detroit with coaching.
100%. And this is something I've been preaching on my channel is the Lions making their own coaching tree, the Dan Campbell coaching tree. We've never really had this in Detroit. We've always had to go to other clubs to get a coach. Now we can develop our own coaching just like you develop players in the draft. That's how you change a culture, Avery. Just like in the Army, you develop your own leaders, right? You take your sergeants, they teach their specialists to take their job eventually. If you don't do that, you're not going to grow as a unit and as a team. And I 100% agree with the same concept in the NFL locker room. It's the same type of thing, the same concept, and so I'm really happy of seeing that. Guys, if you've not hit that like button, smash that like button. Let's get to 50 likes. We got 63 in the building right now. Also, if you have not subscribed to Spirit of Detroit podcast, he's a friend of mine. He just got over 1,000 subscribers. He serves his country. Yeah. He is a man of honor, and we love him here. And so make sure you subscribe to his channel. If he's a friend of mine, he should be a friend of yours. What's up, man?
I appreciate you. Thank you, man. That was beautiful. Thank you.
You know it, bro. Let's get to another topic here, and we're going to talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux. And I know there's a lot of reactions going around Kayvon Thibodeaux. This is something, look, I'm a Ducks fan. I was a little concerned about Kayvon Thibodeaux, but according to scouts and GMs and head coaches, per Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, both of them, and if you look at other mock drafts, they stated that Kayvon Thibodeaux could fall in the draft. He could fall, everyone expected him to be the first or the second pick. Now it's looking like he could be out of the top 5 and to the 7th spot. And he stated on an interview yesterday at the NFL Combine, he's going to do everything. So I think he's starting to feel it. Do you think he slips out? And would you select him? Let's talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux. What's his strengths? What his weaknesses are? What would you tell the folks in here when you look at Kayvon Thibodeaux's tape?
Well, with Kayvon Thibodeaux, you're looking at a guy who is not really a technician. He more relies on his athletic ability. And that's okay to do when you're at the college level and people are, running 5.7s and eating donuts. But at the pro level, you're dealing with left tackles that have been that are tremendous athletes like the Tyron Smiths of the world. You're not dealing with your Goster Sherrills every day. You're dealing with actual athletes that can actually practice and become technicians and not allow you to disengage with the block. So he needs to get better in that aspect. And also on the film, he does come across as lazy on critical downs. We're talking third down. We're talking fourth and short. We're talking third and long, second and long. He doesn't pop off the screen as much. And when he does, he shows great ability against weaker competition. So what we're getting in Kayvon Thibodeaux is a person who flashes greatness, but isn't really great.
Now, yeah, like I said, we all have different opinions. Everybody in the chat, I see someone says, I will judge when I see the NFL Combine. 100%, folks. I think we all should judge in our own way. We all should have our own opinions. Don't ever take my word for it. Don't take Mark's word for it. Don't take anybody's word for it. Mel Kiper Jr.'s, Todd McShay's, nobody. You do your own, do your own research and look at the film yourself. And that I think that's the best way to go. I do see Kayvon Thibodeaux falling a little bit. We've seen, like when I've seen him, I've seen the same thing that you've seen. I felt like some plays were taken off. Could he rebound? 100%. We've seen it. We've seen it 100 times. Just because a narrative is thrown out there doesn't mean that the player is going to be bad. There's narratives that get thrown around players all the time. Justin Herbert, I was told, was a terrible player. He would be a bust. That was not the case. I think he's going to go to the Combine. He's going to try to prove himself, as he should. But I do believe he is not a lock to be a top 2 pick. I think the Detroit Lions could look elsewhere and could look for a trade scenario. It's just really difficult this year to get a trade, unlike other years where, you can do trades because there's a quarterback up there of a need. There's an individual
Right.
you can look at, right? And so I think it's possible. And I think the rise of Aiden Hutchinson, Jamar Johnson, I think other players as well. When it comes to edge rushers, it's very deep in this class, so why you don't need to specifically take one right there in the beginning, right? So talk to the people about other edge rushers that are in this draft class at the Lions if they want to trade back or if they go gutsy at 2. What would you suggest?
I think that the best thing for the Lions is to trust their board. Trust who they feel unanimously is a guy that encompasses grit, hard work, and the spirit of the city. And that's the core strengths. But as you said before, there are a lot of pass rushers. You have Cameron Edwards, I believe his name is Cameron. Yeah, you have Cameron Edwards out of San Diego State. You have Boy Mafe, who is rising up draft boards. You have so many pass rushers. It's really hard because for me, I'm looking at prospects every day, so it's hard to keep these names in. But there's a lot of pass rushers. If you want to go with the talented safety at 2, you can and get a pass rusher in the second round or the third round that's equal or greater value to Aiden Hutchinson.
Folks, we're going to get to your questions in about 10 minutes. So get ready. If you want your question answered, you can go ahead and ask myself. You can ask both of us. You can ask Avery himself a specific question, whether it be draft or anything. But that will be in about 10 minutes, so get ready for that. Let's jump to the next topic, free agent targets. Avery Giovanni. What is one specific target you want the Detroit Lions to address in free agency? Because it's coming up here fairly quickly, about a month away. What is an individual you say we should get?
Yeah. A Steelers wide receiver, Washington. I think that he's a hard worker. He's an individual that never really truly got an opportunity. He could be a wide receiver too on any other team. Also, we should probably, if we could, make a move for Chase Claypool because I heard he is on the trade block. There's so many receivers out there that you could possibly get between Keelan Cole, Rashad Higgins. You can get some speedy guys. These guys are on the cheap side, and they're fast, okay? You need someone to take the top off. I don't think Khalil Hodge will return. I don't think you should count on Tom Kennedy. This receiver core, and I believe the safety core is going to be completely revamped by the end of the offseason.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, man. I think we got to definitely get to upgrade at the wide receiver position. I think it's really important for our team to get better there. We've seen what happened when we got Josh Reynolds. The production of Jared Goff went up, and I think if we can get more talent on the outside, we're good. We got a lot of receivers, I feel like, that we have as a number 3, a number 4. But we need to get a number 2, potentially a number 1. I would love to draft a number 1 wide receiver. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult, because I think that the Drake Londons and the guys that we may covet a lot in the draft will be taken before us. Maybe a David Bell. I do like him. There's a lot of quality talent out there, but I think we need to secure at least one of these guys in free agency, one of these wide receivers. I also think that we need to get safety as well. A lot of connections with the Lions and Marcus Williams. I think the connection is real. I think the Lions definitely could sign him. Good safety. Issues gone to New Orleans, $75 million over the cap. We need help. The familiarity with Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell, I think it would be a good fit. What do you think about Williams' safety coming and signing with the Lions?
I like it. I like it a lot. He's an in-the-box safety that can also play coverage. He's not that proficient in coverage. My only quandary with that is the money side. Again, you cannot go outside in the whole world. We have to be a little frugal. We want to have a situation like the Chargers where they rolled money over for a 2-3 year span, and now they're looking at $70 million in cap, and they're still a young team. The Indianapolis Colts took this venture as well, and they're built through the draft. So if you want to sign him, get the price that you like, that's fair to him as well. And remember, you still have to sign a Warrior next year. You still have to sign Hawkinson next year. There's other players coming up for deals, so be frugal and be mindful of what you're getting yourself into.
Let me know in the comment section, who do you want to sign in free agency or what position? You can just put WR for wide receiver, S for safety. If you want to go corner, you can put C in there or CB. Let me know what you guys think the Detroit Lions should go ahead and sign in free agency. We do need help at linebacker as well. I think we definitely need help there. No doubt about it. I think they can upgrade the position in free agency. I would kind of like to look, though, at the NFL draft for the linebacker position. I'd like to get young. I love the concept of what we did, last year, getting Derek Barnes and building that position, giving Jalen Reeves-Maybin a little bit more time. What do you think we can do to upgrade this position, the linebacker position, while people give their thoughts right now about, what they want to go? We got safety from Q right now. What do you think?
In terms of the linebacker position in free agency, you're going to have to look at the expenditures of an edge rusher. I mean, Charles Harris on Sports Track right now is listed at $8 million a year. Inside linebacker like Trevonde from Green Bay, he's going to be roughly like $7 to $6 million a year. You got to weigh your options. I do suggest the only linebacker where we think about doing anything with is Charles Harris, and then we can build through the draft. We have 10 picks. If we can pull out 2 great inside linebackers, maybe an edge rusher out of that, I'll be happy with that. But if I were to say a free agent just for you, I would go 56, Foye Olafun from the Atlanta Falcons. Very good in zone, very good against run defense, converted safety, middle linebacker. So he's my target if I'm the Detroit Lions.
You heard it here first from Avery Giovanni. Make sure you check him out. We got Lisa says linebacker. We got safety from John Robinson. Safety, Mr. Poole. We have to develop the scheme by Frank. He says Dean from Georgia. We love Nakobe Dean over here. Lisa, linebacker, wide receiver, and safety. Lisa knows her football. I agree. And it looks like we got questions coming in. So before we get into these questions, let me do a quick shout out to a great sponsor here, and that is making some money from BetUS. You can't see me here, but if you go to chatsports.com/LionsBet, you could put in the promo code Lions125, get 125% deposit bonus off. So, hey, bet on the Super Bowl. You can make a little bit of money. You don't have to bet $1,000. But if you want to bet like $5, have some fun doing so. So check that bad boy out. Let's get to the mailbag segment. I love the mailbag segment. Best time of the day. That's where you guys run the show. So you can pick on us, me and Avery. Again, he's here, so if you got questions for him, let us know. Do hashtag. That's how I see it. If I miss your question, don't shoot me in the face. Remember, there's a lot of people in here. Questions come up quick. Just repost it, copy and paste, and we will be good to go. Todd, with the first question, which free agent wide receiver and which wide receiver in the draft do you want? What is a wide receiver in free agency you would like the Lions to get there? Avery?
I think it's been little said about Justin Gage. I like Justin Gage from Atlanta. He's a shifty wide receiver, very small, but he helps you in the return game. He's a tough guy. He has a great story. He has a documentary called The Relentless Story, and his documentary shows his life through Katrina and growing up in the South. And he actually saved his mother out of a flood. This is a guy who at 13 saved his mother out of a flood. I like Justin Gage. He's a great wide receiver. He's going to be on a cheaper side. He's also a punt returner. And then if I had to choose, if I were a betting man, I would say the Lions are going to put their bid in for Williams from the San Diego Chargers. They're definitely going to be interested.
I would really like for the draft the Lions to get Drake London. I don't think that's going to be possible at this point.
Woo!
So I love Drake London. I've liked him. I've been looking at him since week 4 of the season. And then you get Amon-Ra St. Brown talking about him. Love him on the outside. I like the deep, big body, deep threat. That's something I covet personally. You sometimes you just can't beat it when you're in the red zone, right, Avery? You throw the football. The guy can catch the football. We need to get touchdowns, and I think he could help. You can also, again, look at David Bell. I think that's a possibility. Another bigger wide receiver. He can really help out the red zone as well. And an injury to Jameson Williams may push him back. If he falls to the Lions at 31-32, I understand he is a major injury. It was something we'd have to consider. I'm still nervous about the injuries there, but I think it would be really interesting to see what they go. But I would love Drake London the most. Let's see what the next question is. Hashtag Lions, here is my mock. Aiden Hutchinson, number 2. 32, Quan Brisker, the safety. 34, Christian Watson, or George Pickens. Thoughts? What do you think about that mock draft?
Say that mock draft again, because you went fast. Super fast.
That's what I do, man. Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
He goes number 2. Quan Brisker, the safety. He goes 32, and Christian Watson or George Pickens at 34. So the first pick in the second round.
Yeah, whoever that is, you a genius. We need to fire up. We need to fire it up. Get you in the Lions Den right there. Get you downtown. Okay, get you working downtown because that's a great mock draft. Two of those players are my guys. Christian, the wide receiver from North Dakota State, and Hutchinson. You can't go wrong. I got to look at Brisker, but I think there's going to be some better coverage safeties, especially my guy out of Michigan. And I do like a guy out of Illinois as well. So, but that's a great mock draft.
Yeah, I concur. I'd be happy with that as well. Now, this is a question that we hear quite a bit here, Avery, at least on my channel. Turning Jeffrey Okudah into a safety. Lions on the prowl says, hashtag Lions on the prowl from Frank says, I say yes. Would you turn Jeffrey Okudah into a safety?
I mean, first we have to see if the guy's willing. He's coming off an injury. He might take a step back. We have to see if he's willing because the showing that we've had this rookie year and the little showing that we had last year on film, those 2 games that he had last year, very underwhelming. Maybe to save his career, that's what we need to do. We need to coax him to do that. And I think that would help the team holistically. If he can come around and get to 5 picks, 3 picks, he could be on this team for a long time and on the cheap side. So he'll help the team if he transfers to safety and makes the switch.
Again, here we got Spirit of Detroit podcast on the channel. A friend of mine. Make sure you go to Spirit of Detroit podcast, subscribe to his channel. We want to get this guy to make the money. He serves his country, okay? He is a service member, and he's got a kid on the way, so make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. It's a good guy all the way around. Did you see what Hutchinson had to say about possibly playing in Detroit? I did watch that interview, And it, to me, what I took, I don't know if it's personality, Avery, kind of seemed like he really doesn't want to come here. That's kind of what I'm taking for it. Matter of fact, Gridiron Blitz, Detroit Lions Sports Syndicate, he made a video on this today. What do you think? I felt like he would come here and play, but it didn't seem like he was too enthusiastic about that.
Well, he's lived in Michigan his entire life.
Yeah,
you know, right. This is the best. This isn't a quality state. But, you know, again, you know, he hasn't came out and did an Eli Manning, so I still like the mannerisms. I still like what he's saying. He did also have an interview where he's saying, hey, I love to stand up, play a 3-4. I love to be I just love to be a pass rusher. And that's what we need here. That's what the first 3 picks need here. Wherever he lands, he's going to be a player. He's going to be a TJ Watt. And then, you know, that's what we can guarantee. But as far as him liking it and him, we don't care. We need a player.
Hashtag Avery, so this one's you. There's been a lot of talk of getting a quarterback even towards the late rounds of the draft. Should the Lions draft one this year or get one in free agency or wait on another draft/free agency?
Well, you know, I'm gonna actually go mid-tier there. There's some UDFAs that they should check out. You know, TA also talked about Skylar Thompson, the quarterback, very good quarterback. There's another quarterback, Cole Kirby, Akil Thompson. Man, there's just so many prospects in my head. I apologize. But I would say they bring in a UDFA to strengthen my point. And maybe they look at drafting a quarterback if Goff proves he's not the guy.
Yeah, I think there's no problem looking at the quarterback position in the draft, just depending on what round. I always believe you draft the best player available regardless of position. That may rub people the wrong way, but at the same time, if you would do that, we would have more talent on this team. That is what I felt like Brad Holmes did this last draft. I mean, we took 2 defensive tackles back-to-back, and everyone's like, Aleem McNeil, who's this guy? Well, it turned out to be pretty good. I do not have a problem with it. Just get talent on this football team. That is what we need. That's the most case. Talent.
Yeah,
talent.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you know, this player is this, that, and the other. I'm not going to do that. Just get talent. Do you think that should we re-sign Tracy Walker or go after Marcus Williams? How about this? Both? Why not both? Right. Our safety position is cheeks. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, do you want Will Harris to play safety? Do you want to bring Dean Marlowe back? No. So let's go both. Let's completely, and I'll take Kyle Hamilton at 2. I'm going crazy. But I have no problem with getting both of them. What do you think about Ave?
I'm actually going to go counterculture here. Sweet. I like what you're saying. But how about this? Let them both walk. If we're going to create and revamp this whole secondary, and if you look on film study, we can see Tracy Walker blown coverages all over the field. We can see drafting safeties and drafting defensive backs this year is a strength. So let's just get 2 new safeties. We got to pay a Warrior. You have to pay Charles Harris. You have to also roll over the cap. Now, I like bringing in Williams and having I like having 2 all-star safeties back there. That's great. But financially, in the long term, is it going to affect us for TJ Hawkinson's deal, for Jared Goff's deal, potentially? That's what I care about.
Yeah, I totally get it, man. And I have no problem building through the draw. Like, I think that's the best philosophy there is. And if that's the route they go, I'm for it, man. I don't mind getting young talent on this team. If you look what we've seen with Melifonwu, young talent. Look what we've seen getting Jerry Jacobs, young talent. We had some players, but guess what? Doesn't really matter if you can continue just get the best player available. And if that's the approach they go, I'm fine with it. Folks, you see that pinned comment in the chat right now. That's Avery's channel, Spirit of the Detroit Podcast. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Again, subscribe. Also, if you've not hit that like button, we got 55 likes and 115 in the building. Smash that like button. We need to pay Jack Fox. Yes, we need to pay Jack Fox. Now, he's the GOAT for punters. Punters are players too, AG. Not Aaron Glenn, Avery Giovanni. I want Jack Fox back. I do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good $2 to $4 million right there, and I think they already allocated those funds. You didn't get really nothing. You didn't get nothing from the kicking game before he came here. And God bless Prater. God bless all the people we had in the past that performed. But there was a little carousel with the kicker and the punter for a while, and I'm glad he's here. I'm glad him and Patterson are here.
I got a great question here from Gimme Dat. #Lions, what do you think about trading for DK Metcalf, drafting Jahan Dotson at 31 or 32 or 34, and obviously keeping St. Brown to upgrade our wide receiver core? Well, gimme Detroit. That's talking about going from one of the worst wide receiver cores to going pretty fairly scary right there. DK Metcalf still on the rookie deal, big body. He's got that. Man, he can jump up and get that football, and guess what? He's good at run blocking. That's something that we love here in Detroit. He is a Dan Campbell guy. Got a little bit of a diva in him. Jahan Dotson, speedy. He would make the big plays. Kind of be like a Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, right? What do you think about that scenario, Avery Giovanni?
It's great if you could pull it off. You can have a player with some passion, some fight, a guy who wants the ball, a guy who wants to win immediately. But also, it does come at a price because he's going to be a 1 year, 2 year rental. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we're talking about price here, and this team wants to build through the draft. I like what you're talking about. It's dominating. It's really endearing, and it makes us better very quickly. But again, I'm always going to be fiscally conservative.
Yep. And 100%. And again, I think it's going to cost you a first-round pick to get a DK Metcalf.
Oh, no.
I think it would. At 31 or 32?
Oh, no, I'm saying I thought he was just like first round.
Yeah,
oh,
I'm not willing to give up a first-round pick for DK Metcalf, me personally. I just draft the guy. If you're sitting there, unless somehow wide receivers just came off the board, like just went nuts. But this draft is really thick, really deep at wide receiver, really deep at this position. I think you can, look what we did last year, Monroe St. Brown in the 4th round. So I think, personally, I would keep the draft pick, and I would go in another direction. But I totally understand it. I think it's a concept that, I think if you're a team closer to competing for a Super Bowl, well, Tennessee Titans did it with Julio Jones. I think, that would be a scenario where they do that. Gridiron Blitz says, congrats to MicroMike on a successful YouTube season, and if Hutch doesn't get 11 sacks, he is a failure. That's what I heard anyways. Good show. Well, sheesh. Trey Flowers can't even get 10. He's a definite failure right now, for sure. We got AG laughing in the building here. Let me see. Is the safety position worth taking in our first 3 picks? Yes, 100%. I think it's nearly a must. If I got 3 picks, I think one of those got to be safety. I think that may be the worst position right now on this team because we don't got anybody. We don't have anybody. I'm taking safety, bruh.
I thought he was saying the first 3 picks of the draft, but
no. Not safety 1, not safety 2, safety 32, and safety 34. No. That's called crack. Okay, we don't do drugs out here. #Lions, does a defensive end like Hutch or Thibodeau provide more value than a safety like Kyle Hamilton? Well, it's really just depending on what you value. For us, me personally, I value just the best player. It doesn't matter what position. In my personal opinion, is Kyle Hamilton is that. He is a big safety. He's a monster. He's 220 pounds. He can get in. Think of, if you're Lions fans, think of Quandre Diggs had a relationship with Glover Quinn and they spawned a kid somehow. That would be Kyle Hamilton. You're getting a guy who can get turnovers and who can clobber you in the face. Legion of Boom type of player. Transformative in the back end. I think that's what he would do. Now, I do like what the pass rushers and getting after the quarterback and getting the sack. I just personally rate Kyle Hamilton a little bit ahead of that, AG. What do you think personally?
Well, personally, I'm a pass rusher guy. Okay, that's me. I love the pass rushers, but I also know that defense is a symbiotic relationship. There can be things like coverage sacks. Your front half of your team can make your back half look really good, and vice versa. You know, you look at a team like Denver, who last year changed over their entire secondary, and they still didn't get in, they still didn't get any improvement from their secondary. They still didn't revamp their secondary to improve. They got signed guys like Bryce Callahan, Kareem Jackson, Tim Simmons to that big deal, and they didn't improve. So for me, you cannot go wrong with an edge rusher.
Definitely can never go wrong with a pass rusher for sure. I mean, you can't have enough. I mean, that's exactly what we hear all the time. One of the most coveted positions in all of football. You know, you get your left tackle, you get your edge rusher, your quarterback, and you build those, and you got a fairly good foundation. And like if you're telling me if Nick Bosa is in this draft and Kyle Hamilton, I love Kyle Hamilton, but I would take Nick Bosa. You know, it's just one of those things. If Chase Young is there, depending talent versus just position, I'm going to go all talent. Hashtag lines, if Marvin Leal is available at 32, do we take him even if we take an edge with our first pick, AG? DeMarvin Leal. That is definitely Broshmo's one of his favorite players. What do you think about that, taking him at 31, 32?
If we take him at 31, 32, I would like that because then we're talking about fixing that linebacker core. We're seeing some type of trend, whether it's fixing the defense, whether it's fixing the linebacking core. I know that if you get Hutchinson, I'm in love already. But you get someone to coincide with that, whether it's Jermaine Johnson or is DeMarvin Neal. Now you are influencing so many things on coverage. You can't have one-on-ones. You're forcing their running back to stay in the block. He can't go outside. You're forcing the tight end to stay in the block. He can't go one-on-one with the linebacker. You're changing the game when you have two dominant edge rushers. We've seen that with Michigan just last year.
We got Juan Silva says, how can you compare Hutchinson to TJ Watt or Hatchet on the wannabe here? Why drop them? Because in this world, on this YouTube channel, regardless of your personal opinion, we're allowed to have our own opinions, and you're allowed to disagree. And if somebody wants to compare, by all means, they can compare. I personally don't care what people think. I got friends that believe that the earth is flat. I don't believe the earth is flat. I have friends that do. Guess what? This is a show about opinions. So that's what I say there. If you want to compare, perfectly fine, go ahead. Don't care. Don't care. And that's not a knock either. Let's see. Who do you think wins Coach of the Year this past season? Whew. I would love obviously to say, Dan Campbell, man, the knee biter. Of course I'd love to say it. But that's a hard one to answer. What team? It'll probably be who's the most loved right now? Sean McVay. He's coveted. Oh, Sean McVay. Oh, I love you, baby. I mean that's probably what it'd be. Someone that the NFL drools all over. What do you think, AG?
We have to go with the Bengals coach.
Okay.
Taylor. His team was expected to finish last. Zach Taylor. His team was expected to finish last. Not a chance in the division. Good division. Steelers were just 11-0 the previous year before wetting the bed. His team wasn't expected to do much. Now they're in the Super Bowl. He has a quarterback who played 6 games last year. ACL, no offensive line, didn't draft offensive line. Everybody's criticizing the wide receiver. He's dropping passes in preseason. They wanted to cut him. Just the fans wanted to cut him, obviously. But, he took that team from one place and brought them up to here. And plus, he was going to get fired if they didn't change. He was given one more year to change this thing around. So I'd give it to him.
Hashtag both Super Bowl teams have a great trio of wide receivers and a good front four on defense and a top 10 quarterback. Do you see a pattern of success here? Yeah, definitely see a pattern of success. You need to have a good quarterback, okay? You need to get after we always talk about this, right? What is the way of success? What do you say? Stop the run the football, good at play action. You got good. I mean, it's been said a million times over, and I would love for us to have that, and I think it is definitely a philosophy, but no doubt about it. I mean, it's just got to happen. I think for success, though, Todd, the most success, if you want our team to succeed or any team, and I think AG probably agrees with me here, draft correct. You draft right, you will have that team that will do well. Cincinnati Bengals, what did they do more than anything? They drafted correctly. They nailed on the draft. If you look at all these players that they got, they're young and they're crushing it right now. And it's not just Jamar Chase. It's a lot of players.
Right. Absolutely. And to piggyback on that, I'll say this. In the past, your first round pick and your second round pick were expected to start. And third round pick to everybody else was developmental. In this new era, we can see a third round pick start. We've seen it with Kenny Galladay. So from 1 to 4, you have to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Everything after that is we're taking the best available, or we're taking the best athlete, or the best ability that we can train up and that we can probably get something for. And that's what you have to do. You have to draft correctly. The wide receiver core, the Lions, you talked about it. The Lions been trying to copy everybody. In the 2000s, when they brought over Mariucci, Martinweg, and all them M's, they was trying to copy the 49ers, Millen and everything. Then they tried to copy the Patriots. And the formula is there. It's laid out. 2 YouTubers can tell us the formula. A guy right now sitting in his coffee house, he can tell us the formula. The formula is there. Pass rush, edge rusher, and wide receivers, quarterback.
One of the most encouraging things that I took away from Brad Holmes is after the season, he says, I just stuck to the plan. We had all these injuries. I just kept the young guys going, stuck to the plan. That's exactly how you do it. Don't stray away from your plan. You draft correctly. If there's injuries, these guys can come in and make some plays for you. Melifanu came in. Jerry Jacobs came in. I mean, Brown, he was a free agent, little pickup right there, came in. That's what you got to do. Just stick to the plan. Don't get off it and go crazy, because you'll end up like we've done for the past, 50, 60 years. Did you see that Rashawn Slater was better than Penei Sewell this year in terms of stats? Thoughts? Yet doesn't shock me, because Penei Sewell started on the left side, even though in training camp he was on the right side. Decker gets hurt, goes to the left side, then he goes to the right side, and we're the Detroit Lions, so we're going to have issues. It is. We had all sorts of injuries on the offensive line as well. Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker. I mean, it's hard for a rookie, and the guy didn't even play last year, so because he opted out. So I'm not it's not a big deal to me. Go ahead, AG.
Look, I'm with you, man. He's an elite player. We know that, okay? And we're not going to get no shine. I agree with you. We're not going to get no shine that, we got Penei Sewell, and that's an elite player. Louis Riddick didn't even think we would draft Penei Sewell. He thought we were good at the left tackle or right tackle spot. So just know the people that run PFF, the people that run ESPN, the people that they don't have your best influence at heart. They have voices. They have, this, that, and the third. They have influence. They don't have anything. They don't really holistically care about you, your team, or Penei Sewell. So take that with a grain of salt, because I
always tell people take everything you hear, even myself, anybody, with a grain of salt. Just go do your own. You look, find who you like, have your own opinion. That's what this channel is about. We're all different. Right. I'm no different than you. We're just Lions fans, just looking at the stuff and giving our opinions here. So 100%. Hashtag sign Williams from New Orleans and draft Kyle Hamilton and Devin Lloyd in the second round wide receivers. Okay, I call that a universal grand slam. You get Williams, you get Kyle Hamilton, and you get Devin Lloyd. I'm doing backflips with a bad back. The defense just as much improved right there. Wouldn't that be a grand slam, man?
That'd be a grand slam, man. But, Lloyd is sneaking up there to 10 in mock draft. I'm seeing him in mock drafts at 10 or 15. He's a dominant player. And if you can get a pressure player like that on your roster in the second round, you really win in the draft. Also, the Williams pickup. I love Williams. I love it. If you can get that guy in and he has a relationship with AG, he knows the scheme, knows the split safety scheme, and we draft Kyle Hamilton. Woo! Oh, my God. You talk about a revamp.
Yeah, and make sure you guys are here for the NFL Draft. It's going to be on my channel. It's going to be on Grid's channel. It's going to be on Mark's channel. I'm sure AG will come on down. We're going to be live for the draft, having a really good time, and it's going to be a blast. Should we trade Jeffrey Okudah? When it comes to trades, I am willing to trade anybody. I'm willing to trade anybody. And Jeffrey Okudah is no different. If we could get a trade partner, there's rumors that the New York Jets would like to upgrade their secondary with a Jeffrey Okudah. What would you get for it? That would be the cost. I'm not going to give him away just to give him away. But if I can get some decent compensation for him, oh, yeah, man, because even if he was to come back healthy, I feel like Aaron Glenn has done a phenomenal job with the players that we have. Melifonwu, Jerry Jacobs, Amani Awarie. I mean, he turned Will Harris into a cornerback. So, like, I'm not too concerned about the corner position as much. We got men in charge that know what they are doing, AG. Would you trade Okudah?
Hey, look, I would trade a Okudah for a Coke and a smile. I would trade a Okudah for a sandwich, a walk on the beach, and I would talk to my wife that night about her whole day. I trade Okudah for a sunny day.
You just got ultra comboed, bro.
I trade Okudah for an MRE at this point.
If you God. Can get a great look, I love you, man. I love you, man. I'm not doing that. Not a fan of the MREs. There's some good. Those little cakes in there are good. Folks, if you don't know what an MRE is, a meal ready to eat is something that the Army gives out, and I'm sure you don't want to taste it, man.
I got a box
spaghetti's
downstairs.
not bad.
I'm a prepper, man. I got a box downstairs.
Hey, I got no issue with that, bro. You're smart right there. You are smart right there. Justin Thomas. Hey, Mike, haven't been on in a minute. Hey, I appreciate you, JT. But just want to say hi and say I'm excited for the draft. I trust Brad Holmes. Well, I trust you, man. I appreciate you getting on. And, it has been a minute. It has been a minute. After the Senior Bowl, what's up, Dr. Detroit? Who is on your radar now that you want the Lions to consider? Look, I know a lot of people don't want to go quarterback. 100, I get it. I totally get it. But I tell you what, there's one thing that I saw. There's two players I saw in the draft that stood out to me. And Sam Howell's foot movement was outstanding. Stand in the pocket. If you look how he with his bad offensive line that was there, his feet was a rolling. I was extremely impressed with that. I don't think we're going to get him. Just give you a heads up. I think he could be a guy ends up being really good. And Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati, he commanded that offense. I loved his play action. Tall, did a good job. The defensive end,
Mafe.
Yeah, just killing it. Just killing it. So I know a lot of people don't like quarterbacks, but I'm just saying I thought they looked pretty good. What about you, AG? What stood out? What players stood out to you, or players plural?
Yeah, I'm not too fond of the quarterbacks in this year's draft, but I did like Ridder. I liked Ridder a lot for 2 years. Last year he just kind of wet the bed there. He didn't take advantage of the opportunities that well. But I think that the boy Mafe was great. Troy Anderson, the linebacker who also played quarterback, running back for this Montana State, he was phenomenal. He was actually out there with actual elite talent, doing his job, making checks. DeMarco Jackson, another one. Boy Mafe, another one. We seen DeLuch catch a couple passes. I like what I'm seeing out of Petrie, the safety. There's a lot of players to really be inspired about. What I can tell you, what I don't like is the offensive line.
Oh,
do not. That offensive line was terrible. It was so hard to judge Malik Willis because he was running for his life, and a lot of quarterbacks were. But how Ridder handled the pressure, amazing, just amazing. Him and Sam Howell were amazing.
That offensive line was one of the worst lines I've ever seen. I asked Detroit Lions podcast Chris just a few hours ago. I said, were they drunk at the Senior Bowl, because that was the most pathetic performance these guys have ever seen. That was Joe Burrow. You thought Joe Burrow's offensive line is bad in Cincinnati? They made them look like Pro Bowl. It was pathetic. Right. So I couldn't judge the running games. You can't really judge the quarterback. You couldn't judge the wide receivers because they couldn't get the ball. So it was sad to see.
Yeah, Perion Winfrey made some money that day. He looked like a first-round pick.
Yeah,
He went from fifth to first round.
the fifth round to the first overall pick, man. Just the biggest jump of all time. That line was cheeks, man. Hashtag lines. After the Combine and the Pro Day, I can finally compile a full mock draft. Yes, NFL Combine is going to be really fun coming up in a couple weeks. Can't wait to watch it. They'll be streaming it on the NFL Network. So if you don't think that's fun, man, you got to check it out. It's really interesting. I will have it on the whole day while I'm working. Who is your dark horse in the draft, Avery?
My dark horse team or dark horse player?
Player.
Alec Pierce, wide receiver out of Cincinnati. Dude is phenomenal. Has 890 yards this season, 10 touchdowns. He's a great big body wide receiver. He made Desmond Ridder look very good. He has yak potential, get yards after the catch. He can catch high point balls, contested catches. He's amazing. Also, Jalen Tolbert is a close second, in my opinion, as far as dark horse. I think people are realizing how special Jalen Tolbert is. 6'2", out of some random school, but he is amazing. He had 1,400 yards last year. He had averaged 20 yards per catch. This is what we need, people. You get these two wide receivers, you have instant upgrade.
Folks, if you've not hit that like button, smash that like button. 160 in the building. We got 85 likes right now. Let's get to 100 likes. Let's do it, folks, and get after it. Got a question in the chat for everybody really quick. Are you guys going to be watching the NFL Combine? Why for yes and for no? I want to see if you actually pay attention to this thing or if you're just going to sit back and let others do the work and kind of just chill out. Let me know what you guys think on this. And that's not a negative thing either. It's just some people don't want to watch it and some people do. So I'm just really curious to see what you guys think. I am a nerd. I will watch that for sure. I know AG is a nerd. He's definitely a nerd. He will be watching that. So let me know what you guys think. We got, that's classic nerd, folks. That's classic nerd. Hashtag line, should we draft a quarterback this year? I think we get Willis or somebody late, like Brock Purdy. Oh, sorry, I missed another question. I actually didn't went past. I will get back to it. I personally believe the Detroit Lions are not going to take a quarterback early in this draft. That's been my opinion for a while, even though I do like some of these quarterbacks. I like what I've seen from some of these guys. I just think the Lions will roll with Jared Goff this year and kind of build around him in the defense. Do you think that they go quarterback at all?
If they do, I do like Brock Purdy. He hit the nail on the head. Of Brock Purdy in the 5th or 6th round is great. Now, going in the draft, I don't know about that. I think Brock Purdy might be a great UDFA. Malik Willis not making it past 10. Let's just get that out the way. The hype train is real, people. We have to understand other teams, they feel like they can develop quarterbacks. The Steelers obviously have been the talk of the town with Malik Willis. And usually when they cover the player, they somehow get the player. Like it just happens that way. They coveted the running back last year along with the tight end Freiermuth, and their players just fell to them. Just magical, huh? So in my estimation, that the quarterback, we're not even looking that way, but we should get a UDFA.
No doubt, 100%, because we don't even have, besides Jared Goff, no one else is on the roster. Do you want Tim Boyle back? David Blau, he's been on here, done nothing, man. So get it undrafted rookie, 100%. 100%, man. Do we package the Rams pick and a second-round pick and move up to get Malik Willis in the first round? No, I don't want to move up in the draft. I really don't. I think we stick to our guns and just continue to get talent on this roster. There's going to be talent that falls. It happens every single year. A player will fall to where we're picking at 31, 32. Sit there, take the player, get better at whatever position that is, safety, linebacker, edge if they go that route, wide receiver, instead of going up and losing draft picks. What do you think? Would you trade up?
I would trade up. Yeah, I would trade up, but not for Malik Willis. I would trade up for like Devin Lloyd or Jermaine Johnson. I would trade up for a piece that's going to be here for a long time and that we already know has production. Malik Willis has 1 year of us knowing him. This meteoric rise that kind of came with 3 or 4 games. All these other players have been in college producing 3, 4 times. You know, Jermaine Johnson, he was a Georgia transfer, couldn't get on the field for his freshman year. Went to Florida State, balled out. Again, Devin Lloyd, another player for Utah, balled out. I think when we follow the production as well as the player, the athleticism, that's when we really make our best moves. Okay, so trade up for the production, not the player.
What are we doing with Trey Flowers? What are we doing? I got a trash can over here.
We sound like a job.
We are releasing this guy.
Doing? Yeah, what are we doing with him right now?
He's probably filling some buckets of water, but we're releasing him. That's what my prediction is. What do you think we're doing with Trey Flowers there, AG?
Well, you know, you got to follow the money. This dude makes 16. If we cut him, it's 16 million a year post June. If we designate him before June, it's 10 million. If we do that, we get 10 million plus, and we can pay somebody else. I don't see a scenario where they look at the 10 million and they look at him and say he's our guy. I don't see it. So for me, we gonna get rid of him. It's okay. He'll bounce back. All Patriots do, and you know, that's all I got to say for him. Good luck.
I was waiting for this, John Robinson. Appreciate you. Before we answer this question, it is mock draft had us taking Kenny Pickett at number 2. This is what I got to say about that. You got to use your strong hand. Kenny Pickett's got some small hands. I do not believe the Detroit Lions are taking Kenny Pickett at 2. I think that is extremely hyperbolic, a little bit high to taking Mr. Small Hands at number 2. Would you take Kenny Pickett in this draft?
Yeah, about that. I don't think this quarterback class is going to have a strong showing. You know, they all need a year to develop. They all need to get used to a pro-style game. They all have their deficiencies. Kenny Pickett with the small hands, Malik Willis with the body of work and the only athleticism, and Sam Howell with the erratic, can't read defenses. You know, I just see so many red flags. And then the most stable of them is a second-round pick with Desmond Ridder. So I'm good on all of them, man.
See,
especially
I do like Malik Willis. I love his dual threat ability. I think his ceiling is extremely high. He's a little bit raw, no doubt about it. I mean, he is raw. He was at Liberty, and I think he could be like a Trey Lance type of guy where you select him, he sits behind the quarterback, learns. Once he's able to get under the playbook a little bit more, I think he could be a really good quarterback. I think his ceiling's extremely high. Would you sign 2 safeties in free agency? Yeah, I don't think right now we're not keeping Will. I think Will Harris, he should be let go. I know he's under contract for another year. We don't really need him, but he's not really a safety, even if we keep him. Okay, Dean Marlowe, no. Tracy Walker's not under contract right now. So, yeah, I think we sign 2 safeties, and we draft one. It could be a backup safety. It doesn't have to be a starter in free agency. Could be a depth guy, and maybe you get a Marcus Williams. But do you think they sign 2 free agents? And that includes Tracy Walker as a free agent.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're talking about Tracy Walker as well, sure. I think you need to explore that option, obviously, because you're going to have your fans that want to pick Kyle Hamilton in 2, and that's understandable. He probably could be a generational talent at that position and at that level. But you also want to weigh your options. You have Marcus Williams being the first guy. You have Jesse Bates. You have Justin Reed, Jordan Whitehead. You have other players you can try to figure out. I believe Quandre Diggs might be a free agent as well. I believe he is. So you have to really figure it out and see what the best fit is. First of all, we love young players. First of all, we want to save money. Second of all, and that's it. Young players save money. Let's go draft him. Let's go draft him.
No doubt about it. It's all about saving money and getting younger, and I think that's how you get better. Regardless of what happens in free agency or the draft, where do you have the Lions in the 2022 NFL season? I say 5-112. Man, that's a lot of losses. I think he meant 5-12. But I can't tell you what we're at right now. I can't make a prediction. There's so many things that we don't know yet. Aaron Rodgers, is he going to be in the NFC North? That's a big deal. That's two different. That could be between 2 losses or 2 wins. So I don't know what's happening there. Minnesota Vikings, are they going to do good with O'Connell? Chicago Bears, are they going to do good with their new head coach? I'm going to reserve my judgment for win-loss record until some of these things are a little bit more known. Avery, what about you?
Well, right now you got, 45 players on the roster. And all of them couldn't start. Not all of them can start for a different team. Jared Goff cannot go back and start for the Rams. He can't start for the Ravens tomorrow. You have a lot of backups, and we need a new wide receiver core. There's just too many questions. The only sure thing about the Lions is their I want to say the backcourt. The only thing for sure about the Lions is their running backs and their offensive line. That's the only thing for sure. So, but before I see some proof of work and some progress, I'm just going to hold in my beliefs. Now, the schedule may trick you. The schedule may be like, oh, we can beat them. I thought that about the Bengals too, and they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you don't know what team gets better, what team gets worse. Yeah, a team could completely fall off a cliff, and a team could be juggernauts. And there's a game in Germany. We may get a game over that. We don't really know yet, so I want to just reserve judgment. I'll say this, though. I do think we're going to be better. I do think we're going to be improved because, first off, the talent is going to be improved. No doubt about it, with a better draft. We got actual money in free agency. We don't have all these Patriots on the football team. Secondly, the schedule does look a little bit easier. We had a hard schedule last year. 5th hardest in the NFL. So I think it does get a little bit easier. But just like you said, you don't really know. Third, health-wise, I think the Lions were terribly injured this past season. We're talking about everybody got injured. I think we'll be much healthy. We were losing players left and right. We had 4th-string guys, and there's no 4th string on a team starting for the Lions in the last couple of games. And if you've seen what the Avery or Aaron Glenn did with those players, made them look pretty good. So just imagine if we have our players healthy, and they can actually play with those with those coaches. Hashtag Lions. Is it possible Lions sign Marcus Williams and Chris Godwin this offseason, cap room wise? 100% very possible. Right now, approximately $25 million in cap space. If you cut Trey Flowers, that's going to be about $10 million, so $35 million. You can cut some other players to get to around $40 million. So you can definitely do that, 100%. Is that something they do? I think it actually is probably, I would say more likelier than not that they go. I think Marcus Williams is definitely connected to the Lions, and I think, I really liked Michael Gallup as a wide receiver, but he got injured. That was, right at the end of the season, a real bad injury too. So that may be a little bit different. I know Chris Godwin had some injury issues as well, but I think that could be a scenario somewhat likely. What do you think, AG?
Well, honestly, I just hate to beat the same horse and beat the same drum about being fiscally conservative. It's time to tighten our belts, okay? I know, the Lions ain't getting no stimulus check no time soon, okay? At the end of the day, draft. If you want to conserve talent, you re-sign Tracy Walker. And if you want to bring in someone on the cheap side, I would go Whitehead, or I would go Justin I was about to say Justin Fields. Oh, my God. You want to go to safety from the Texans. I did a video on him. Check my channel out. He's going to be a free agent as well, a little on the cheap side. So, you want to stay cheap.
Now, I've seen someone here talk about Jabril Peppers. What about Jabril Peppers? Would you sign him?
Jabril Peppers offers me the same thing Tracy Walker does. He offers me a thumper. He offers me a quasi Quandre Diggs without the interceptions. Now, he's a great athlete, tremendous player, played at Michigan, great career. But for what we want to do in coverage, we want to get better in coverage. And for what we want to do with our two deep shell or our single high safety looks, we want to have more athletic safeties, more speed, more prowess to get the ball, instincts to get the ball. And we still want to tackle. We don't want to give up anything to get those interceptions. So if he can prove that he's great in coverage, I would sign him. But last year, again, busted coverages, a very physical player, just needs a position change, in my opinion. He's not a true safety. So, no, I wouldn't sign him.
Again, we're here with Avery Giovanni, Spirit of Detroit podcast. His channel is linked in the comment section, so if you're not subscribed, make sure you go subscribe. You can see here, he's extremely knowledgeable about the Detroit Lions, about prospects. See, this is what he does. He serves his country, and he's definitely a friend of mine, so make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. Also, hit that like button. We're 4 away from 100 likes. Love to get to that 100 mark right there. If the Lions trade back with the Giants for 5 and 7, would it be acceptable to draft Kyle Hamilton and then Malik Willis? #me. Whew. That would be interesting. That would be, look, I think if you can get Kyle, I think trade back, I want to trade back. I would love to trade back with the Giants to get 5 and 7. I think you'd have to give up our 3rd round pick for us to accumulate two of those first round picks, in which I think would be fantastic. You could get Kyle Hamilton at 5, would be a gigantic hooray. Malik Willis, I think the fan base may, if they took quarterback there, I think they would be extremely unhappy. But I will say this, if the Lions coaching staff believe he is a franchise quarterback, or if anybody, you take the franchise quarterback. They said the same thing about Justin Herbert. They said this guy is not a franchise quarterback. He's not good. It turned out to be the wrong decision. So I would definitely look at Brad Holmes. I'd look at everybody that they believe in and say, if you believe that this guy is a game changer, then do it. If you don't believe that, if you believe that he could be not that, don't take him. Then just take the best player available. And that would maybe go Nakobe Dean at 7. It may be a little bit high. I don't care. Just take the best player available at that position because you can't screw it up. What do you think about that, AG? Trading back, taking a Hamilton, and taking a quarterback named Malik Willis.
I like the trading back to take the quarterback of the defense, the safety. I like that. That would be nice for me. And if a team doesn't jump ahead of you and just dispose of your plan, that's pretty good too. Now the trading back, I like the premise of it because we're switching our first and second first round pick, right? Our first and second round, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're switching that, and we're switching with a team that has 2 picks in the first round as well. I like that part, because that can give us some flexibility there, and we can get a person like Cameron Thomas or maybe a Jermaine Johnson or someone like that, so we can still get that powerful pass rusher and the safety we like. I like that portion. But as far as getting a quarterback, I think that's out of play. Now, the Lions could surprise you.
Yes.
Because what they do is they say, we're not doing this, and they go ahead and do it. And then there's something that obviously that they need, they avoid it. So it's, I just can't wait to see. It's going to be opera. It's going to be theater.
Yeah, don't believe anything that you're hearing up until the draft. Everything's a bunch of BS. They're blowing smoke. I mean, let's be honest here. If, you want to make sure you get whoever you like. And so you're going to say, I like this guy. Make sure the team jumps and gets him. I get the guy who I want. Lions wanted Penei Sewell, what we heard last year. They're going to jump up with Atlanta Falcons potentially to get a quarterback. They wanted to jump up, but it was for Penei Sewell. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where kind of take it with a grain of salt. If the Lions trade 31-32 and you get a number 1 on the team, I don't see DK Metcalf in the draft, and he's still young, could part of the future. But he is a diva. That's the thing. So you got to understand that you would understand that I think you'd have 2 years left in his deal. So, yes, you're getting the player, but at the same time, does he want to be here for the long haul? Because if you're giving up a first-round pick, you want this guy to be here for the long haul. You don't want to be here for a year or two. He is a diva. He was getting upset that he wasn't getting the touches from Russell Wilson. Do you think he would be like that with Jared Goff this year? Probably. So there's ups and downs, there's positives and there's negatives, and I think when you're trading a first-round pick, I think you got to take all that into account. In my personal opinion, I say don't trade a first-round pick. Just draft the wide receiver. This receiver class is extremely deep. I've been saying it for a while, but he is a beast. I can't say anything bad about that. But, folks, we have been on for an hour and 15 minutes, so it is time to close this bad boy out. What do you got to say to the folks, AG, while we close this thing out? What do you got to say to the people in the comment section?
Hey, like, comment, subscribe for more thought-provoking content like this. Click the bell icon button. This is a great show. I love being on this show. I love hustling with these guys, man. The whole crew, you guys do so well. I got a show with TA coming out on Monday, and I just check out my channel. I got some thought-provoking stuff for you over there. All next week is going to be very high quality videos. I hope you love those. And also, this guy does his research. This guy is the man, MicroMike. Subscribe to him. This guy is it. Okay, all right. Him, Grid, they are it. They're as close you getting to ESP in Detroit as possible. So,
hey, appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love. We're just trying to get the best content out there as humanly possible. That's what it's all about, folks. And I appreciate you coming on, man, shooting it about the Detroit Lions. Again, make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. It is literally in the comment section. Just click it, and click it and tick it, man. Click it and tick it, and you are good to go from there. With that said, folks, I'm going to leave you with the greatest words and my outro. It was just like my intro. Hope you guys like this.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.